You wanted the devil. Well, you got him.
The devil is in the details, and that doesn't ring more true than for the effects in Lucifer. With 6 seasons packed full of beautiful visuals, the VFX team had their hands full creating this epic story. The behind the scenes will make you wonder how they took something that looked so boring and bare and turned it into the epic scenes we see on screen. They must have made a deal with the devil to make the effects look this good on such a tight schedule and budget.
Oh, yeah. Watch this.
As the king of hell, Lucifer isn't your ordinary fallen angel. While he may appear to be a handsome bachelor on the outside, on the inside, Lucifer hides a devilish look. We don't see it often, but every now and again we get a look at Lucifer's true complexion, known to fans as his devil face. The first time we see this is in the pilot episode of the series. We only get a glimpse for a few seconds, but it's enough to make out the look. This is actually the only time the effects department used makeup and prosthetics to accomplish the look, as future iterations would be achieved with CGI. And there were multiple iterations along the way. Season 1 and Season 2 had a smoother design with some folds and cuts. Season 3 is where the look reached its most well-known form, with only slight changes being made in the following seasons. Actor Tom Ellis had tracking dots painted on his face to assist the VFX team in post-production.
Bridge, what's going on here?
VFX reference.
That was for when we only saw the face. But Season 4 introduced us to Lucifer's full devil body, including wings. For this, Ellis wore a full motion capture tracking suit, including a cap and of course the motion dots on his face again. We can say it was worth it though, as his devil appearance looks incredible. One aspect of Lucifer that's impossible to miss are his giant wings. They are cut off in the first season, but return in the Season 2 finale. They were actually brought back after Amenadiel lost his wings, strictly because the budget could not sustain them.
We had them, but we don't think we can sustain the level of production and make these wings work.
The creators decided they would rather Lucifer have wings, and so Amenadiel lost his, although the writers did a great job of making it part of his character arc. The wings were completely CGI, and took a lot of time to render, but they didn't require as much on-set help as you might think. Tom Ellis didn't have to wear any special tracking suit for the wings. In fact, he wore his normal suits, and green tracking markers were taped to the back. Simple, right? This actually turned out to be a huge headache for the crew. The tape didn't actually adhere all too well to the nice suits, and kept falling off. This is a bigger problem than one might think. The tape has to be put back on in the exact same spot, or else the VFX shot will be imperfect. Let's look at a scene where Lucifer uses his wings. In this scene where Lucifer is having a dream where Chloe is falling, Tom Ellis is actually on a green screen, and the environment is computer generated. And in the Season 3 finale when Lucifer makes a grand entrance to get revenge on Cain, everything is CGI, including Lucifer himself. The scene transitions into a live action fight scene while keeping the CG wings, and it does so flawlessly. The devil has his ways of tricking us.
The first wings we did were supposed to be the last wings of the show.
The process of creating the angel wings for Lucifer was anything but straightforward. To begin with, they weren't even sure if they were going to be sustainable on their budget.
It's a common thing that for budgetary reasons, not because of narrative reasons, someone's written or some aspect of a show is written out.
Once they knew they were going to be bringing back the wings regularly, they created big, beautiful feathers that had their own custom rig for the VFX team to animate with. There were multiple elements to manipulate. The wing rig, which controlled how the overall wings moved and reacted, and the individual feathers, which could be transformed in multiple different ways. And some of the feathers they created for Lucifer were really big. The ones on the end of his wings are like as big as his leg. With so many detailed feathers and animation, rendering a single frame took 5 to 6 hours.
He was like, okay, yeah, this is gonna work.
Another giant headache for the VFX department was the scene in the Season 3 finale, where Lucifer shields and protects Chloe with his wings. They had to create an entirely new pipeline to create this scene, and just figuring out how to do it took them a full month. Some new challenges they faced included getting the feathers to bend correctly and making them bleed. That's not the only unique aspect of our favorite fallen angel. Just like the wings, Lucifer's devil face also had to undergo changes as the seasons progressed. addressed. A couple of the main things the VFX team focused on tweaking were his eyes, and making his overall look less smooth. We just kind of take divots out of him and make more gouges. They did all this work for the big reveal at the end of the season 3 finale, only for the show to be cancelled right after. Luckily, it was brought back on Netflix, so we could see more devil face and wings than ever, as Netflix's budget allowed for more VFX shots. This included bringing back the updated devil face, this time with a devil body and wings to go along with it. But the wings and face aren't the only things that make Lucifer Lucifer. He is the ruler of hell after all, and can't be spending all of his time on Earth. One of the most impressive shots of the series comes at the end of the season 4 finale, when Lucifer returns to hell. He presides over his kingdom, sitting high above the land in a giant chair. To create this scene, they shot Tom Ellis on a simplified version of the chair on a raised stage, and a green screen background. The behind the scenes definitely isn't quite as epic as the final shot, but it shows how drastically VFX can change the look of a scene. While we've been taking a look at the grand, expensive, and in-your-face VFX shots, there are some special effects sprinkled throughout the show that you may not have even noticed. When Cain is impaled during his fight with Amenadiel, the spike going through him isn't there at all. It was completely added in post. And when Lucifer finds out that Pierce is actually Cain and stabs him, the knife blade is CGI. Actor Tom Welling was holding a handle and feigning the action of pulling the blade out of his chest. That scene in season 3 where Lucifer intimidates a murder suspect by dangling him off a cliff? Real car with green screen on the ground and the cliff created digitally. And who can forget that fantastic dance sequence in season 4, where Lucifer pulls a Dirty Dancing and lifts Dan in the air. This was done practically with wires, which were removed in post. The result was an oddly perfect sequence of the devil showing everyone his incredible moves. But that's not all. There are some scenes you would never guess contain visual effects. During a scene at a ballerina recital, the entire audience was added separately. And when the car explodes next to Lucifer and Chloe, they replaced the stunt double's face with actress Laura Germans, even though it's only on screen for a second. It's the small attention to details like these that help keep the audience engaged in the show, with them none the wiser of the amazing work done by the VFX team. It's impressive what these VFX artists are able to accomplish with such little time and money. They pour their hard work into these effects, and the results speak for themselves. The amount of work they do with the amount of limitations they have is nothing short of spectacular. From Angels to Devils, the effects in Lucifer have only continued to improve throughout the seasons. Which effect do you think was most impressive?